On this episode, living beyond suicide loss.
I just need to learn how to live without him.
Welcome to Road to Hope. I'm your host, Bianca Jade. On this episode, we travel to central Alberta. We'll meet a young woman who's dealing with the loss of her son. She reached out to a local organization that's helping her deal with his suicide as she faces the holiday season.
He was a wonderful 19-year-old boy who loved working pipeline, loved his family, could do anything for his family. He was kind of a mama's boy. That's okay, because I'm mama. And I miss him. Stephen died January 15th, 2013. His employer was looking for him, wondering why he wasn't there, because Stephen never missed work. And for him to not show up for 2 days in a row was just not like him. So his oldest brother went looking and found him. And then my husband and I got word in Cuba that Stephen was gone.
So he's looking at Mom?
Yeah,
Right
I was
on.
looking at Mom. The first time I met Dawn, she brought us into this room, and her first question was, "Tell me about Stephen. I want to know about Stephen before he died." Which, since he died, nobody asked me. And it was great to be able to talk about what he was like, to share what he was like. He was such a wonderful young man. To be able to share that with Dawn was awesome, because nobody had asked me about that. Everybody asked me how he died, and that was all they seemed to want to know. Nobody wanted to know about him anymore. And I didn't want him to be remembered just for that.
This is a life-changing experience for people, and if I can support them through that, I'm honored that people share the lives, not just the deaths, but the lives of their loved ones with me. I've lost people to suicide. I've had lots of friends who have lost people to suicide, so it's always been something in my life. I will say that I have been fortunate not to have been as impacted as some of the people in the room. Yeah, and I mean, those are the answers that we'll never get. I am a registered social worker, so that's my background. I've been with the organization off and on since 1991, so I've learned a lot through experience and through education, and I do a lot of prevention teaching as well, and so it kind of helps balance in terms of the work that I do with survivors. I learn from them, and I'm able to teach that to a prevention audience, for example, and vice versa. What a survivor is, that is somebody who is left behind after someone dies by suicide. The group, because it's open to anyone who has lost someone to suicide, that covers, of course, a broad spectrum in terms of those relationships. So if somebody identifies that this loss has had an impact in their life, then they're welcome to join the group. We do an intake process, and we do that for two reasons. One, to look at where they're at in their grief journey. Sometimes people want to access support, and they may think they're ready until they sit down and I ask them some questions, and they may realize that maybe they need some one-on-one support prior to, or maybe they're not quite ready. The other reason for meeting someone and doing intake prior to is so that when they do come to group and they sit down in a room full of strangers, they at the very least have a familiar face in me because we've met before.
The hardest thing was saying, "My name is Karen, and I lost my son Stephen to suicide." That is the hardest thing, and it's still really hard. But saying it to a room full of strangers was tough. But then talking about Stephen and seeing Dawn nod and smile at you, it's really comforting. When I first came to the support group, I kept thinking this was something I had to get over. And the support group and Dawn has taught me that it's not something I have to get over. I'll never get over losing my son. But I just need to learn how to live without him. And that's what she's been helping me for almost 3 years, is learning every day how to live without Stephen and honor his memory. And that has been so helpful, because for the first few months after Stephen, everybody kept saying, "You'll get over this, you'll get over this." And it was, I can't get over my son. And then she kept saying, you don't have to get over him. It's not something to get over. It's just learning to live with a new normal. Our feelings aren't wrong. Like whether it's angry because he did this, or just sadness because he did this, or just the missing him, or the feeling of guilt that I couldn't save my son. It's normal, and it's okay to feel them, but not to let them to control my life.
To watch the pain that they're in, and to know that one of the things that is going to help the most is time, and I can't rush that, I can't move them through that, but I can walk with them through it. If we can reach people and not judge them and just be there to support them, and sometimes we don't know the right thing to say, and that's okay. I think it's better to say, I don't know what to say, but I'm here for you, as opposed to not saying anything at all, because that then isolates them all over again.
I don't get any judgment on the things I do to keep Stephen part of our lives. And that has helped so much, knowing that there's other people that know what I'm going through every day.
Sadly, there's a lot of stigma around suicide, and my words to people are often, there's no shame in suicide, but that's easy for me to say. When you're living it, to get to that point to say, yes, my son, in Karen's case, died by suicide is huge. It's huge. And to do that publicly and to put herself out there, you know, I think is a huge step, not just for her, but, you know, as a representation of moms.
It's let me know I'm not alone. When we first lost Stephen, I felt like I was the only mom in the world who'd ever lost a child this way. And I knew I wasn't, but there was nobody else there to talk to. So coming to this group has shown me that I'm not alone. I wouldn't be doing as well as I am without this group and without Dawn. This group has helped me so much just coping with everyday life. And Missy was probably about 15, 16 there. Dawn, she is a friend. Unfortunate circumstance made us be friends, but I would tell somebody that, you know, she's just a friend to someone to talk to, and there's a group of friends. As much as we don't want to see new people come, because knowing that they've had the same loss, we welcome new people because we want them to know they're not alone. And we will embrace them with hugs or whatever they need. And that Dawn is awesome at making people feel like they're a part of a group. An unfortunate group to be a part of, but that they're a part of something. This group has been my life saver. Because after losing Stephen, I thought I was going to follow him. And coming to this group and finding out I'm not alone saved my life.
Thanks so much for joining us. If you're facing the loss of a loved one and you'd like to reach out to this local organization, please follow the information on your screen. Thanks for watching.